Hope you're doing well. In the previous session, you have learned how industrialization changed the lives of poor people in England. The early workers' protest, the lad movement. Let us talk about some more similar movements and their impact from the topic Social Protest Movement from class 9th Social Studies. Learning outcomes. You will be able to learn about socialism, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels' theory of socialism. Impact of socialism in India. Women's movement. Keywords: conspiracy, a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. Capitalism, an economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit. Feminism, an organized effort to give women the same economic, social and political rights as men. Orientalist, someone who studies the language, culture, history or customs of countries in Eastern Asia. Revolutionaries, people who advocate or engage in political revolution. Discrimination, treating a person or particular group of people differently, especially in an unfair way. Let us check the concept map. Socialism. Ludism was now being suppressed by the government and the army. A new ideology was slowly developed which gave the workers a new social goal. This was the idea of socialism. What is socialism? Socialism calls for public ownership rather than private control of property and natural resources. According to the socialist view, individuals do not live or work in isolation but live in cooperation with one another. Further, everything that people produce is a social product, and everyone who contributes to the production of a good has a right to share it. Therefore, society as a whole should own or control property for the benefit of all its members. In this way, socialism is opposed to the basic idea of capitalism. Capitalism is based on private ownership of the means of production. Capitalism unfairly distributes wealth and power to a few individuals, limiting the options for the poor. Socialists argue that true freedom and equality require society to control resources for prosperity. They argue that capitalism's distribution of wealth and power limits individual freedom and equality of opportunity, limiting the choices of the working class. Socialists also believe that because the resources are distributed unequally, there cannot really be genuine free competition. The rich and powerful people manage to move the balance in their favor by hook or crook. Some elements of socialist ideas can be seen in many thinkers down the ages. Like Plato or Thomas More. These ideas became powerful when they were combined with the ideas of the French Revolution. Babeuf, a radical advocate of the French Revolution, argued that the revolution failed to achieve the liberty, equality, and fraternity. He advocated for the abolition of private property and common enjoyment of land. He was executed for conspiring to overthrow the government because of these ideas. However, his ideas inspired many social protest movements against the factory system. Saint Simon of France advocated for public property control through central planning. Envisioning a society where scientists, industrialists, and engineers anticipate social needs and plan accordingly. Owen, a small industrialist, aimed to create cooperative villages for common ownership and shared labor. However, due to industrial production growth, these ideas remained unimplemented. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels proposed socialism theory based on their study of industrial capitalist production. They argued that capitalism is both progressive and exploitative. Separating capitalists and workers from their true humanity. And causing extreme hardships. Marx argued that industrial production enables people to live and work on a large scale. Requiring cooperation with numerous people to meet basic needs, giving them power to improve their lives in collective interest. Marx and Engels argued that workers in factories who had no property but were crucial for production are exploited for profit. They suggested a new equitable society could be established by taking over factories and resources. He advocated for workers to self-organize throughout capitalism like the feudal lords and kings. In the French Revolution, and establish a workers' state owning factories and land, benefiting society. The ideas of Marx and Engels made a great impact on radical thinkers and activists at the end of 19th century and inspired major social movements in the 20th century. At the same time, many other radical thinkers disagreed with Marx on many issues, and they gave new theories like anarchism, socialism in India. Socialism came to India from very early days. Swami Vivekananda was himself deeply influenced by European and American ideas. The Russian Communist Revolution in 1917 inspired Indian nationalists, including M.N. Roy, Bhagat Singh, and Jawaharlal Nehru. As factory production developed, leaders organized trade unions and founded the Communist Party of India in the 1920s. Women's movement. During medieval and early modern times, women were largely dominated by men, limited to domestic work and limited civil rights. Industrialization led to women working in factories, developing a new identity and asserting equality for all human beings, regardless of gender. In 1791, French women protested against the Declaration of Rights of Men, drafting a separate Declaration of the Rights of Women. This declared women are born free and equal to men in rights, with social distinctions based on common utility. Women's movements in Europe and America aimed for equal treatment and participation in government. From 1830 to 1870, women's suffragists in England demanded the right to vote. Russian Revolution was the first to grant such rights to all women in 1917. By 1928, the right was granted to all adult women in England, which eventually accepted by most democratic countries. Women's participation in public matters made women aware of the unequal treatment in education, health, property rights, and employment. Post-World War II, the women's movement aimed for equality in all aspects of life, challenging cultural and political inequalities. First wave feminism focused on suffrage, while second wave feminism aimed to end discrimination in education and health. In the 19th century, social reformers in India fought against practices like sati, killing of girl child at birth, and enforced widowhood. Extending modern education to women, which enabled them to participate in public life and organize. Mahatma Gandhi emphasized women's importance in the national movement, leading to thousands joining and shaping nationalist ideas. India's independence granted women legal equality and ended discrimination in property laws. Even though legal equality has been achieved globally, women still lack real equality around the world, including India. So, in this video, you have seen about the socialism, impact of socialism in India, and women's movement to gain equality